Good morning, everybody. Welcome this Thursday morning to Morning Matrix. Today, we are diving into talking about trusting your intuitive heart, really trusting that there's always a choice in front of you. And it's really befitting that this is the contract energy of today. For those of you following the numerology, we've got a Seven of Clubs contract with a two. And for those of you who don't know anything about numerology, you don't have to listen in. It's a message with an invitation from the frequencies of these contracts. If you happen to love numbers, it's a beautiful way to connect deeper with yourself and the world around you. So as we dive into this today, that frequency of seven, the number seven, and with each of the numbers, there's a higher and a lower frequency available as a reminder that we can always be choosing a higher perspective, that we can always invite ourselves into an empowering choice. And that's what I love most about the numbers. There's a lot of different beliefs in what it is, what numerology is. There's a lot of fear sometimes and what others thought about the system. I even had my own diving in, um, things the church told me, things different aspects of. I don't even know exactly where I picked it up, but just the understandings that I thought that I knew about it, to find not only was I in love with the patterns and the study and the ancient wisdom that is included in it, but who I became as I trusted myself through the journey, because it really opened up my own intuitive gifts and my own trust within myself when choices were present. And it provided a system for me to really land into who I was and who I'd forgotten in the chaos of life. It's a remembering, it's an opening of your heart. It is the most divine system that I've ever come across. It's filled with so much love and intention for us to live a thriving life, knowing that as humans, our patterns are lack and limitation and scarcity, and that we can oftentimes be creating our own struggle in the midst of all of unfoldings in life. Nothing of that has been more true than what's been going on in my world this whole week. One of those moments where we didn't necessarily have the rug pulled out from underneath us, but everything in a moment changed to where you sit back and you realize everything is one decision away, literally. And in one decision, you can change the trajectory of your life. And I feel like that is the energy today is inviting us into. Where are you in your life where you don't feel you have a choice, or maybe you're giving your power away to something outside of you or something that your mind has created, keeping you stuck in loop? Because when you are able to interrupt that loop, pull the band-aid, however that works for you in life, it opens your eyes and your awareness into what else is going on, the deeper reality of what's actually happening right now. And it brings you back into a choice point. It brings you back into starting again. And where you're coming from and starting again is not the same place where you might have experienced something similar in feeling that before. There's more wisdom, there's more experience, there's lessons you learned before. And so we begin again, and we trust in ourselves, and we rebuild, and we do the things in our life that are integrity and alignment with our values and what we believe. And so life will present these opportunities to check in. Are you compromising your values? Are you in integrity with what you say that you want? What I love about knowing our own personal numerology is the biorhythm that we each have. We each have an influence every single day of the week based off the day that we were born. For me, I was born on a Monday, so it just happens to be very convenient and lovely that my week lands in the same days as we know the calendar week. And then collectively, we run off of that calendar system. So our Mondays can be very much in the mind through a Mercury influence. Tuesdays, in my case, would be a feeling state Venus influence. We've got Wednesday, we want to just get stuff done. Thursday are blessings, so on and so forth. So we've got these beautiful planetary influences that come in without having a huge depth of astrology. We can begin to feel and observe how we're responding when life is putting us in those choice points. And friends, we're constantly in choice point. And I was reminded yesterday that 97% of people won't choose to pay attention or dive into the greater depths of their own personal development. And I don't say that as a judgment. I just recognize that I'm in that 3 to 5%. I can't help but do it. The moment I discovered it, I wanted to know more. I wanted to know how my mind and body worked. I wanted to understand what my patterns were. I wanted to observe myself more and more and realize that I could create change. And then as I did it, my world got better. My opportunities increased. My perspective on life was easeful, and that life couldn't beat me down. And so if you're going through something, have gone through something, find yourself in loop. These are the important times to try something you haven't tried before. Find somebody to talk to, have somebody to sit with you and break down what's going on so you're not going in the same loop over and over and over again in your mind. Because the moment we begin with, why is this happening? Why am I here? Why am I stuck? It activates a scavenger hunt of the mind. And the only thing that's going to respond from that mind is the way that you've told it and why you've told it you're there to begin with. To where all of those conversations that have been on repeat for years, sometimes decades, become the belief that's embodied in your system. And there's more beliefs. There's always more choices. There's more beliefs. There's a rewrite of the story. There's all of this conversation. And there's 1,000 ways to bring yourself into this conversation and 1,000 modalities to help you connect with you. But what matters is that you connect, that you take a look at what choices are in front of you and know that you can either stay where you are, no harm, no foul, or you can choose the direction of your intentions and succeed in ways that you didn't think possible. But you are not going to get there doing the same things you've always done. And I think that was one of the most eye-opening things for me in the beginning of my journey was no one's coming to save me. No knight in shining armor is going to ride in and have this magical fix. And yet my mind had created stories where it literally was looking for it, or it would keep me safe in patterns of when I get there, then everything will be okay. This mystical there that's going to solve everything. And what I learned was it was up to me. And that became more scary than anything that I faced in life because I had to face myself in, do I take responsibility and do I believe that I can be the cause of the effect in my life? That I have been the cause of the effect in my life. So we talk about universal law of cause and effect. And knowing that I've been the cause of the effect in my life, am I therefore going to riddle myself in judgment or am I going to love and accept myself anyway? And sometimes that can feel so trite when you're in it. Yeah, I love myself. But we're so conditioned to fight for our rightness, our righteousness, that we don't listen. We're so busy pointing ourselves away from ourselves that the world becomes the problem. The other person becomes the problem. The situation becomes the problem. And today's inviting you into the deeper truth. Will you take the next step and build the faith and trust in yourself to see yourself to the finish line? Or will you sabotage that and attach to old meanings and old beliefs that keep you playing small, staying stuck, or staying in the struggle because at least the struggle's familiar? When I had that revelation, I started to get very curious. Where in my life was I doing that from a place of being the observer, not the punisher, not the abuser, the best friend, the cheerleader, the encourager, the love, the divinity, the sacredity in my own self. And every time it pointed me back to me, back to my relationship with self, where I could do better without taking 100% of the responsibility, which would be the other thing that I would do. I'll fix it all. It's in discerning, it's in learning who you are, it's being in divine, sacred relationship, right relationship with you. with all these years of going through personal development and landing into more intuition and spiritual study, I was just like a sponge again, lapping up information and applying it, becoming the same thing that I talk about, living by example. So I could speak to you from example, and then being afraid about sharing all the examples, which I think is a natural thing that comes up. We don't want to be seen in our vulnerability. But I believe vulnerability is strength, and the truth is what sets us free. But our truth really allows us to settle in and be with what is, because if we can do that, we can start to make new choices. And what if in this moment, nothing else matters in the world? What they said, what he said, she said, what they did, what they claimed, the stories they keep telling. We can get so overly concerned with what people think of us that we disregard what we think in ourselves. And today is an invitation to really dive in to connect with you. What is your belief? How do you believe in your dreams? Where are you when it comes to that level of belief? And if it's not 100%, it's okay. It can be cultivated. It can be built. What is in your level of belief and the health that you can open yourself to, the body that you can love, the money that you can create? This is where all of my beliefs and patterns and stickiness were. I was just gung ho, just give me the thing, point me in the direction, I'll do everything. I'll work my butt off. I'll bleed to make it happen. Wear my fingers to the bone, because I taught myself that. And I didn't need to abuse myself or create a punishment for me to actually thrive. And it has taken some time to unwind. Where do I do that? Where am I scratching my head going, why is it the same all the time? And where can I love and accept myself anyway? And then choose again. And in that choice, do I need support? Do I have support? Who am I surrounding myself with? What is the toxicity of my own thoughts? What is the enlightenment of my own thoughts? What is my feeling state overall? And do I know that I can shift that I have the power within me to alchemize any emotion? But it's going to require me to feel. And I avoided that for a really long time, even though I was a very feeling individual. Good morning, Elaine. So in this conversation today, what is that dream that you have for yourself? Whether it's being connected with your children at a more deeper level, or living the passion and purpose of your dream in a new career, and making changes in your life so there's more peace and ease, and having that vitality and well-being, and having connected friendships and spaces where you feel you belong. These are the key codes that are lined out even in your own birth chart, that can help you bring new awareness so you can continue to be in that empowering choice, always knowing there's a choice in front of you. Being aware of it, accepting it, and taking responsibility for maybe what mistakes you made, for your participation in the same scenario that you're wanting to blame others for without taking on full responsibility for the situation. There's two to tango or more. But understanding that everything is perception. You're going to have your perception of what happened. Someone else is going to have their perception of what happened. In fact, if you had 30 people in the room, you have 30 perceptions of what's going on, all being filtered by their experiences, their traumas, their stressors. And yet there's always more. There's more for us to love. There's more for us to welcome in as far as peace and trust and ease. And there's higher perception. There's always a 360-degree view of any one situation that we find ourselves stuck in with blinders on. Today's inviting you to take a look. Don't let the temptation of defending your old story, or the fear of losing what you've already built, or the uncertainty of what's to come on a new path, divert you or divert your attention from your bigger dream. Otherwise, you're compromising. You're out of integrity, and you're circulating more of that energy But when you can trust you and step forth, even if it means the big payout in the end, all the accolades, the safety and security you've built, can you trust in your body that you're fully supported by God, source, universe? And that when you can fully let go and surrender in that moment, better things come, opportunities unfold, and you find yourself 10x where you were before because you're not holding on to that dangling carrot. So I'd love to know how this conversation is landing with you. What area of your life are you feeling this? Where are you feeling it in your body? And are you ready? Are you ready to move it through? I'm here to help you if you are. I'm here to guide you through that process so you can be sitting in your life, even 3 months from now, looking back and understanding that the change and the choice was always there and that you made the decision and that you're the creator of your reality. If something is not working in this moment, observe it with love and consideration for you. And if you don't like it, you have the power within you to make a new choice. And if it's going well, you have the power within you to open up to more. All of it points back to a relationship in you, and all of it can be cultivated in security, safety, and trust within. And when you're there, my friends, the outside world cannot affect that stable foundation. It can move, it can be chaotic, it can go through all of those things, and you'll have the power within and the tools to bring yourself back to you each time in this grounded, stable space to connect into your intuition and see the choice in front of you. If that sounds like you, I invite you to reach out. I invite you to have a conversation with me to see where we can take your journey next. And I hope you have the most amazing rest of your day. All right, you guys, I'll see you again real soon. Bye for now.